Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Coding here again, coming back at you with another tutorial for Pseudo Code. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite things to get into, and it's a helpful tool when programming here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file, and basically what pseudo means is not genuine. So it's not genuine code. However, we can use it to help us make the actual code for it. So I'm just going to copy over the pseudo code that I have here, and then we are going to save this. So we're creating a new file. We're going to save it as Python, and we're going to click save here. Okay. One thing that I am going to try to do is zoom in. I'm not sure how to do that. Uh-oh. I guess I should have figured it out in the first place. Anyways, I hope enough. If not, I will redo the video completely. But for right now, we are just looking at this. Okay, so pseudocode tutorial, not real code tutorial. But we're also going to dive into code. So we're talking about the code, not the pseudo kind. Anyways, so here you can see I have comments here throughout it, and this is the main part that we are going to be focusing on here. Okay, so you have the number sign class for character. In Python, the number sign is how you make comments. So that's the main way of doing pseudocode as well, is just doing it like this. I do know that some people like to take out the comments and then adjust it from there. However, I'm not one of those people. I like to see my pseudocode while I'm doing it. So we're just going to jump right into it. So first off, we are going to make class character. I cannot spell, so I'm just going to copy and paste it here. That should be 2 S's. Make sure that the character is capitalized, as that is the proper way for classes. And then we're just going to do brackets and then a colon there. Okay. Now, you can see races: wizard, elf, dwarf, human, orc, and a cyborg. Okay, so what we're going to do, just to make this look nicer, is capitalize all of these. And then we are just going to cut this and then paste it up here. And then we're just going to create a simple variable of race equals, and then we want this to be a list here. So I'm just going to copy these down from there. I'm going to paste them in here. Okay. So what we're going to be getting into here with this tutorial is displaying lists as strings as well. But the main focus of this is just learning how to read pseudocode. So if, for example, you get something that says class for character. Okay, so now you know that you're going to be making a class, and it's going to be called character. Okay, and then if you see races: wizard, elf, dwarf, human, orc, cyborg, you know that this is going to be a list, and then you can name the list races. So if we really wanted to do it like that, then we could do it like this. Okay, so that's one way of doing it as well. Okay, now we're also going to create the classes. I'm not sure why I did that. I can just simply tab it. And now we're going to create classes. However, these aren't actually going to be the class. These are more specifically a variable of classes. So we can definitely make classes for this, but we're just going to keep it nice and simple here for the start. And we're just going to copy this and then paste it down here again. So you have warrior, healer, archer, and bard here. Okay. Now, the fun part is getting into this. So get input for race, gender, and character class. Okay. So all we got to do with this is just simply getting the input. So how you get the input, and this I'm actually going to change it to race list, race classes, because here we're going to get an input for race. So race equals input, 2 brackets. You can leave it like this, or you can add some text to it. Okay, so your desired race is your desired race, and then here we're going to leave a space. We're going to add another space, add a plus mark, and we're going to go str and then 2 brackets. Okay, so what this will do is it'll turn integers into strings. It'll turn floats into strings. It'll turn lists into strings because it's converting it to a string object, and input can only print out strings. Okay, that's the same with print. Print can only output strings as well. So what we're going to do is your desired race is plus string races list, and then we're just going to leave it at that, and then add another plus mark, 2 more of these, and then go like that. Okay, so that is one way of doing it here, and we are going to do this for the classes as well, but we also got to do gender too. So gender equals input, 2 brackets, apostrophes, and then are you male or female? Let's see if I can actually spell. My goodness. Okay, so this one, we don't have to use a list. You can create a list for all of the genders that there can be, but right now we're just gonna go with are you male or female. And then last but not least, we want to do character class equals input brackets here. One thing that you could do is you could just simply leave it as class with a lowercase. However, you can see here that class already has a lowercase up here. So the reason why you can't do that is because it'll cause an error within the code. So what I generally do is I just create another character class here like this. Okay. And we're going to go input, choose your class, again, a plus mark, str, brackets. I'm just going to copy this down here and paste it, character classes, classes, that should be character classes, but we're just gonna roll with it. And then another plus sign, 2 more apostrophes, and a colon. Okay, so with this, if we run it, you can see that we can get user input now. So desired race, elf, male or female. Let's go with male. And then archer. Archer. And now you can see that it exits. We have no clue what we are. And as you can see here in the pseudocode, we have display information. Okay, so simply what we are going to do with this is you're just going to tab it over, and then in here go print, and then brackets, and then in here gonna add a couple apostrophes, U R A, and then don't forget the spaces, because if you don't have the spaces, for example, the str race list, your desired race space, then this list, if you didn't have that space here, what it would do is your desired race wizard. So these 2 words would be joined together because there is no space, right? So that's one way of doing it, or you can just simply add a space at the very beginning of all of these. I am not a huge fan of doing it that way. I prefer just adding a space in here and then adding the list to it as a string. Okay, but anyways, print URA, and we're going to go with gender first. So if it was male, you are a male, and then we're also going to add the race right beside it here. Okay, so you are a male elf, and and then another space, 2 more apostrophes, a space before, so that these two aren't just conjoined together. You are a male elf studying in the field of space, and then adding the character class here, and then last but not least, another plus sign, another apostrophe, and then a period. Okay, so really quickly, we're gonna run through it. I know I'm not taking a lot of time to pause for any of this stuff. If you do need help with it, just pause the video where you need to, and then work it from there. But the best way to learn this stuff is just simply by doing it. So practice creating classes, practice creating lists, practice using lists and converting them to strings, and then practice getting input, and as well as practice printing out the input as well. People really want to know what they put in. So studying in the field of character class. Perfect. So we are going to go elf. We are going to go female this time. We are going to go healer this time. And then you can see you are a female elf studying the field of healer. This is now in because I fixed it, but there is no space in here. So how do we fix this? We just add another plus sign, 2 more apostrophes, and a simple little space in there. So now what it'll say is you are a female elf studying in the field of healer. So yeah, that's all of it here, as well as, let me just copy this stuff over again. So you can see here that class for character, race wizard, classes, get input, race gender, display information. Right, so you can see all of that stuff here. What you can do is you could just simply leave it here, and then down here do all of the coding without the pseudocode lines here in between. That is one way of doing it. When I first started out, I just started doing it this way because it was easier for me to see. It was easier for me to follow along and know exactly what I needed to do. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So it's something that I have enjoyed, something that I have learned, and probably one of my favorite tools when I get stuck and I'm not sure what I need to do. Okay, so every now and then I'll be like, what do I need to do? And then I'll do pseudocode. Be like, okay, so I need to create this class, I need to do this with the class, inside this class I need this to happen, all of this stuff, and then I'm like, I have it. And then I just work through the pseudocode, changing it to code, so from not genuine code into code, and then I have a project. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This has definitely been a quicker tutorial here. If you do need me to do it again, just put it down in the comments below, and also slap that dislike button as well. That will give me a huge indication of I need to fix this right away. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side, kiddos.
Famous, so famous, #1 desirable. I do what I want when I want and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air. That's how I roll. I got tons of soul, I'm a true collectible. Famous, so famous, #1 desirable.